Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to another Saturday night, late night. Many of you probably didn't even think I was going to go live tonight. Normally we're here at 7:30, but we have a couple of grandkids over today, and they're a little louder and such. So we decided to postpone it for a little bit, and that way it wasn't too crazy loud here. And so we'll try to keep the energy up because, well, let's face it, I'm usually in bed hours ago. So tonight we have a great guest that'll speak of a few things about the paranormal that she's experienced. Her name's Dannie. We'll bring her on in a second. Um, as a matter of fact, we'll bring her on real quick. Um, we'll speak with her, but I'm also going to do a weird food combo tonight. Um, WASP co-leader Lee has been challenging me lately. He wanted me to do peanut butter and sardine sandwich, but yeah, no, ain't happening. Sorry, my friend. So, but stay tuned and you'll see which combination I did choose that he mentioned. And without further ado, let's bring Dannie on. You ready, Dannie? Give me a thumbs up. All righty. Hello, hello, hello.
Hi.
And welcome to, I presume, your first Facebook, YouTube, Twitter interview.
Hi,
Am I correct?
everyone.
I'm sure as we go along the chat, we'll start becoming interactive. And forgive me, my mindset is kind of blah. I've been chasing a 5.5-year-old and a 4-year-old around with stuff, and it takes a lot of energy out of you. So Saturday night, and so you'll see these chats. If you don't see them so good, I'll pull them up on here. It's Saturday night. You know what that means? Yes, weird food combos, right? um, so if you'll take a moment and introduce yourself, and go ahead while you're introducing yourself, bring up the Facebook group you manage. It's a group, right?
Yes. Um, I'm spiritual medium, and I've been on the Paranormal Survivor, season 1, episode 10, Skeptics Turn Believers, and also was filmed for Haunted Hospitals. Um, I do run a group. It's called East. Sorry. Yeah, Central, or I can't even think of the name of the group now.
Well, I appreciate you being here because you said that you're tired tonight, and so you're really saving me from sitting here by myself and having people stare at me. So I understand about being a little tired and getting words mixed up. I do it
Yeah.
all the time.
Um, Hold on. One. Huh?
So what's the name of your Facebook group?
Um, my mind is
As a
blank.
matter,
Hold on.
as a matter of fact, I'll just pull it up here real quick. Um, here you go. This is her group. I imagine she'll pop back in when she can. Um, yeah, I'm drawing a blank myself. It's kind of weird when you're sitting here in front of these screens doing these shows. If you got two people on, it's like a really central screen where it's half and half. And so when something happens with the connections or whatever, your face just comes forward on the camera, and before you know it, you got a big picture of yourself. And here she is again.
I'm
Welcome
sorry.
back. No,
What?
you're good.
Yeah, we have 604 members currently. It's run by myself, my friend Sean Daniel. He's a part of the Tennessee Chase Rathers, I guess I'd say it.
Wraith
But they've been
Chasers,
on
I
TV
believe.
for like haunted towns and other shows. He's one of the investigators. And it's also run by my friend Ron Andrus, and he's got a lot to do up here in Western New York with paranormal. So the
Right now,
three of
you're sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. You're in Niagara Falls, correct? New York.
I'm actually in
Or
Grand Island between the both of them, Buffalo and Niagara Falls.
that's right. New York side is what I meant to say. And that's correct. The Paranormal Central Station, which is scrolling at the bottom of the screen.
Yep.
That's on Facebook. And yes, Jay, I'm sure the fedora is intimidating to some people like you, Jason. Jay, I don't know if you remember him or not. He is another member of WASP. I don't know if you met him.
Was he around when you came to the house and
Well,
investigated?
that's what I'm kind of trying to remember if he was there, or if it's just his wife Angel that was there.
Oh, I
But either
remember
way,
Angel.
yeah, she's a hard person to forget, and I mean that in a good way. And by the way, I know off camera you told me to say hello to Steph, and I'll definitely do that. That was racking my mind, and I don't think I answered yet.
That's
Yeah. So, how you like Grand Island?
it's boring, but I've been busy working at Amazon, so that's in Lancaster. So
PA?
Lancaster, New York.
Well, I was about to say that. That's like a 5 hour
Yeah,
drive.
I was just kind of shocked. I was like, wait, there's a Lancaster, PA. I didn't know there was one in New York, but
Yeah, no, neither do I.
you ever heard of like Depew and Batavia?
No, where? Batavia?
Depew
Yeah, okay.
and Batavia, like Batavia Downs.
Right.
Well, it's about 20 minutes. Lancaster, New York, so about 20 minutes from Batavia.
Oh, wow. I probably even been through it.
Yep.
Never know. Jason says he's heard of Batavia. Um, so yeah, the first time we met in person and really talked was here in Tidiute
Yep.
near
It was
Six
very
Flags.
haunted in that house, and my kids still remember like the things that they experienced, and I think there was possibly my neighbor was using Wicca and she was doing spells outside, so I think it conjured something.
I remember that. Do you mind if I ask a personal question?
Oh, go ahead.
Um, you're not home alone, are you?
No,
Okay. I seen a little
my
shadow and I
daughter's
thought,
right over here.
okay. I assumed that there was somebody else there, but you never know. Um, yeah, I remember you had issues with your neighbor doing that, and that was a little crazy.
It was kind of like we didn't agree, and I was trying to send the spirits back on that were
Mhm.
there haunted, and she wanted to conjure it some more, and I ended up she was outside doing stuff, I don't know what, but I ended up seeing a skinwalker outside there, so
Wow.
it was there's the fire hall, and then up
Mhm.
was the house, and it was right in there's like a strip of bushes right there on top of that one hill going up to the house,
Right.
and it was right in the bushes. So
Yeah, I
and
don't get over that way very often. I live in Tidiute, of course, but I live on the outskirts of it, so I don't really go to town. And your place was a little past town. It wasn't like where most people just drive by unless they're taking back roads to Warren or something.
no, it's right there beside the fire hall.
Hmm. But most of the businesses are at the start of town as opposed to. I think the closest thing there would be the fire hall, and maybe you go by to go to the library if I remember, if I think about it. So
Yep,
that was wow. That's been some time ago though, actually.
I believe 2014, and
Really.
that's when that was part of the TV show Paranormal Survivor. It was I think I mentioned you being there and investigating, and they had mentioned that on the show. So
Right. Right. Well, it was kind of neat that you got to be on the show though. They treated you good.
oh yeah, actually a lot of the people that come here from paranormal TV shows, they usually use it's called the Millennium Hotel in Buffalo.
Okay. I don't know the hotel, but I know Buffalo.
Yeah, yeah. There's like a conference room studio. area, and they tend to use that when they come here and film people. So,
Oh, cool. Now, after we met there, you had some fun with us at the Warren Mall.
oh yeah,
That's an interesting place. Now, there's of course we've had like Jay on and a couple people on that's been to the mall, but outside of people within the group, we haven't had anybody on this show for that could attest to the mall. What was your feelings there?
um, I had sensed that the little boy with the red coat on that was said to have died there or something. I can't remember what you had said, but I had seen
It's
them
been a lot of years.
him over by the arcade.
Okay, yeah, the 10-year-old
And
boy.
then we went into the arcade and we did like a little group. We all sat in like
Mhm.
a circle, and
Right.
I think it was Angel that had the dowsing rods.
Yeah, Angel would have. Were you there when? Yeah, you weren't there when the Derby girls were there, right? You were in a smaller group. Okay,
Yeah, with Joel and Angel and Stephanie, and another one of your friends. I
probably
thought he
Heather. No,
was like an older gentleman.
what are we doing? Could be Lee.
Remember when we went to Halloween at the bar? We went bar hopping and
Yeah,
the
yep.
crawl.
So you're speaking of Lee,
Yeah, there you go.
which is here, or he was on not too long ago, chatting in the YouTube chat. So he's watching. Yeah, that was a fun night too. Doing our little bar hopping there.
I remember challenging you to a game of pool, and you won by just a little bit.
I was about to say I can't believe that I even was able to play because I was feeling pretty well that night. We were chasing different spirits.
I know Stephanie's like, Danielle, when you coming back down and do a brawl? I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, we have spoken about doing one this October, another zombie bar crawl, but now everything seems to be spiking back up again. So we're kind of like, do we? Do we not? So who knows? But we'll get more in, and we definitely will be happy to have you guys come down.
I think I'm frozen.
No, no, you're good. I might have
No?
froze up for a second.
Okay.
Wow, you back? But
Huh.
we could hear you and see you
No.
moving around.
Okay. Must be on my end then. That's weird.
It's all good. I'm streaming from tin cans and all that. So if we cut out, that's probably my fault.
That's okay.
Now, so yeah, we'd love to have you come back down for one of the crawls again when we do another one. Um, now, fast forward to a little bit more. Um, after that, you kind of jumped out on your own away from the area and such.
Yep.
Is there anything
Been
in
in
that time
Buffalo
frame you want to speak of?
Been here in Buffalo for probably about 6 years now.
6 years.
Um, I can tell you there's a lot of haunting where I'm staying at right now. There's a portal in the mirror in my room, and they seem to be coming from there. And back in July, it's very sad, but a gentleman that we were friends with, I talked to him the day before, and then the next day during the night, he hung himself at the tree.
Sorry to hear that. That must be rough.
And I took a couple of pictures. I've been doing this every night trying to, capture them, and I actually have pictures on the group site of a couple interesting pictures by the tree.
The Paranormal Central Station site.
Yeah, and it looks kind of like a figure walking. So
I am live. Okay. Want to say hi to Danny?
Hi, Danny.
hi.
Everything okay?
I'm getting the boys ready for bed.
Grandkids, getting grandkids ready
She
for
knows
bed.
Andrew.
Yeah, my oldest son, Andrew, his sons are here. Two of his
Ah,
kids. And they're good kids. Just high energy.
uh,
But what do you expect from
listen
a
to him.
5-year-old and a four and a half year
RN.
old? But so these pictures you took are on the page now. You got a lot of stuff on the page that's pretty interesting.
I try to encourage like anything paranormal, supernatural be posted by anybody. There's a lot of groups out there that say, don't post this or that on my page. Feel free to on my page. Any events that you know of, any paracons. I do have a friend on there. Well, a couple of them. Dave Schrader. He likes to post a lot in there. Like events that he's has, and Shane Pittman, the his group. They're going to be having a new TV show. Pretty good friends with Shane, and he's pretty excited. Their first one's going to be the Old Poly Jail, and it
Oh
seems to
wow.
be like a really exciting TV show. So make sure you watch Shane's show.
Now is that just on like Roku? Is that cable television, or don't? Are you
I
not sure?
believe he said it'll be on Discovery Plus. So
So regular cable plus
yep.
all that
And
stuff.
Dave just had a show I just watched about Lizzie Borden, and it's an amazing episode that really affected him. Um, that he didn't know, like they did some kind of seance where he let her like he was writing on the and he was shaking real bad on a tablet with pen, and
Okay.
it was really emotional
Um.
for him, and it was crazy to see this. I
I
never saw
want.
anything like it. So
Oh, I've heard of that before. It's
I think automated writing.
you're close to it. I know you're really close to that. Yeah, it's where the spirit's able to take over and move your hand or something to say what they want to say. And even though sometimes it looks gibberish and such, if you really look at it, you can discern words and such. I've seen that before, not on that episode, but I've seen. I know what you're saying. Sounds like a neat show either way.
Yeah, they were trying to get the truth about what happened there, and I remember another spiritual medium. She's famous. She's with the cop. Um, you know, Dave or
Automatic.
Steve DeShavi, and I can't remember her name. But they
Oh,
went
from
there
Dead
and they found
Files.
a Ouija board underneath the couch where Lizzie killed her dad.
Really?
Yep, and so.
But that would have been after she did it. Like somebody put it there or something.
And just recently Dave did this one, so and it was on a shock doc on the Discovery Plus. So
Wow. Wow. I would love to go to one of those places and do that. But then again, I might end up with a dramatic experience or such. Um, Speaking of which, what's the one situation that you believe really most affected you? Like you said, it did him.
for myself,
Yeah, it doesn't even have to be like an investigation.
it
Anything.
it'd probably be the time that I got when I what the whole episode was for um when I was living on Niagara Falls on Niagara Street, and we had the ghost hunters, but it's like a different, it's kind of like their own chapter of it, and they're in
Okay.
Buffalo, and they came and investigated. They found some kind of demon up in the attic, and we would go from go out for dinner, come back, our door is completely open. We did have neighbors, but she never came upstairs, and
Hmm.
all our cupboards were open, and this happened like 3 times to us,
Wow.
and so they came up and did all their investigation. It was probably about a week or two later. I was seeing like a demon on the bed with me, and it scared me. And after that, it tried to possess me. And if you watch the episode, I kind of have a knife, and I don't remember doing it. And I was trying to go after my ex-husband. Was my
Right.
husband at the time, Greg, and he yelled at me, "Hey, snap out of it, snap out of it!" And inside, internally, I was battling it. I was saying St. Michael prayer and saying, "God help me, please don't let it take me over." It scared me so bad. So
I could only imagine. Yeah, I remember. Now that you were saying that, I remember watching the episode and seeing that. Now I keep trying to find it, and I keep forgetting which episode it is for the hospital one.
I was filmed for it, but I don't know if they ever played it because I've been watching it and I never seen it.
Okay.
I was
Well, they might.
filmed at the Millennial Hotel for it, and I don't know what happened to it.
And you never know. It could be on next season. It might be the next 3 seasons. They put it on when they feel like putting it on.
Well, the thing is, I think they may have found it a little controversial because what happened was I went to the ER for being sick. My sugar was up. I'm diabetic. My sugar was up, so I went to the ER to get some medicine. And when I went in, there was a holdup, and I was like, what's taking so long? I've been in the waiting room 3 hours. They bring me back, and in the room there's like a car accident. Mother and her sister and an 8-year-old girl, and I think a 2 or 3-year-old boy,
Oh boy.
and the 8-year-old girl ended up dying, sadly.
Mm.
And the little boy, they brought me in the room where he had been mercy flighted to Pittsburgh, and they didn't even clean up the room. They just left the blood like all over the room. Didn't even, and I don't know why they put me in the room, but they brought me to that room and sat me down. And I'm like, "Are you going to clean this? This is disgusting. Why would you bring me
Right.
in without cleaning it first?" And
Right.
outside the door was the car seats for the kids, and then in the next room I went past before going in my room with the little girl, and she had been there probably 3 hours and waiting for the morgue to come get her body. And when I was sitting there in waiting for the nurse, the little girl comes to me and she's saying, "Mommy, mommy, where's my mommy at?" I said, "I don't know," but I could hear her mother probably about 2 doors away from me crying and sobbing.
I can
And
imagine.
and then I looked at the wall, and this older gentleman came through and grabbed her hand, and they went through back. It must have been a portal, but her whole physical, you know, translucent body was there in front of me, and she was asking me where mother was. So, and
Must have
that's the
been.
story I told haunted hospitals, but they didn't want to put it on.
Well, young kids like that and such generally don't make for great television.
Yeah.
I mean, I hate to say it like that, but if you don't want to say it, you don't have to. I don't know if you said it while you were filming, but was that local hospital or is that
It was Charles Cole.
where?
About a week later, I went to her crash site and gave her and left a teddy bear for her and a note for her mother telling her how sorry I was. So,
Mm. Yeah, well, I can only imagine she went to a better place than what we have here. Um,
mhm.
Tragic indeed, and it's probably good that she had a few moments of comfort with you being around. Um, though it probably was traumatic to you.
It
I
was.
can even.
I still can't believe they would do that to somebody. It was, I don't know why. I just think about it and it's like, why would they even do that?
I don't have the slightest clue about the only thing I could truly even pretend to believe is that they were themselves in kind of shock and just
Mhm.
move to the next. That's
Yep.
about the only thing I could even pretend to give them. Because the bottom line, everybody's human, and I can't imagine something like that would be easy to just step away from. You know.
I don't know, but I currently am being haunted, but
And
um,
right, you were saying
and
something
one that
about a
I'm
portal.
seeing. Um, I was looking and I looked over towards. I was laying in the bed and I looked towards the bathroom and I seen two women pointing at me and looking at me in dark shadows. There are always these dark shadows. So I'm like, well, I had asked where I'm staying. I asked the landlord, and he's like, I all I remember is that I bought it in 1980. I don't know the prior, history and when it was built because I tried to get him the history off of it, and he didn't know. But he thinks it's pretty old. He thinks it's like 1950s that it was put on. But this land in Grand Island was a lot of Native American land.
Right,
So
right.
I'm
The
thinking,
Iroquois and I believe it's Iroquois and Senecas had been through there, and
and
that's just
I
things
think during the Revolution, or remember Fort Niagara?
Mhm. French Indian Wars, I believe.
Yes. And they came through here and they fought the Indians and got them off the land.
Sorry, I just hearing half the conversation as I hear you as well.
Oh, I said during the
No,
war, they came over here and took the Native Americans off the land. So I wonder if there's still like that negative energy here.
I could only imagine. Plus, you have all the water surrounding and such, and that's going to put a lot of energy into the area. And who knows what happened before all that? Um, that's a lot of things. There's a lot of undocumented um, things that we'll never know happened, and you know what I mean.
Yep.
So you said something about a portal in a mirror in your house.
Yep. Seems to be where, like, because I had taken a picture and I showed my friend Sean, and he's like, yeah, this definitely looks paranormal to me because it was some kind of white figure was beside the mirror, and I took its picture, and I did put on the, my group site. I don't think anybody sees my pictures on there, but I posted on there, and because it just looked like a woman's face, and the back in May, a woman had died here, and she was a nurse, and she was in her 30s, and it looked like her.
Wow.
And I gave it to Sean to look at, and he confirmed it looked paranormal to him. So,
Are you planning on keeping that mirror?
um, it's staying where it is for now. Yeah.
Um,
I think 2 nights ago I was laying in bed. I was awake on my iPad. My fiance was sleeping next to me, and I hear two knocks on the bathroom door, and I was like, "Whoa, wait!" And my daughter had experienced the same thing. So, not sure who's knocking on that door right now, but it's happened 2 or 3 times now. So,
and you didn't want to answer, huh?
no.
Sometimes it's best just to leave it alone. Hello, Jen. Thank you for popping in for another Saturday night. The Haunted Souls Paranormal Society, if I remember correctly, and forgive me, Jen, if I make a mistake, is a newer group out of Jamestown. Correct me if I'm wrong. And you know Jamestown pretty well yourself. You've been through.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think you know Jamestown, right?
I hope so.
See, I was born and raised up there, so I got a lot of interesting stories about that area myself. Probably about the most haunted section where I lived in Jamestown, or the place I associate with Jamestown Paranormal, was when I was a kid growing up on 8th and Fulton Street. There was a lot of fun activity there on Fulton Street in Jamestown. Pretty creepy stuff for a 7-year-old, you know. some of it could have been imagination. Some of it, I'm pretty sure, was not. And I think being that young, I was a little more in tune with the paranormal than I am now. And
I had a couple of incidents where it kind of heightened my gift that I had of seeing the paranormal, the other side. I had 2 near-death experience. When I was 7, I got hit by a truck. Saw 2 angels. In 2012, I was given morphine for kidney pain, and I died for 8 minutes. So,
oh wow,
both those times kind of heightened it.
I can only imagine. I can't imagine being hit by a truck and all that. And sorry, distracted with the chat. She did confirm that she's in Jamestown, and confirms there's still quite a lot of activity going on in that area. And I'm assuming my pumpkin shirt, you believe it or not, like 5 years, well, I won't say 5 years, a few years ago, I got it at Walmart. Just a pumpkin shirt with like stars, and it's getting close to the fall season, so I figured I'd wear something a little more than my work shirt. You still with us, Danny? Did you freeze up on us? And we're gone for a moment. Okay. Well, she is waiting to do that. How about and yes, I got this at Walmart. Here's a full shirt. Sorry guys. But I'm going to take a moment to, since there's a few people here, co-founder of Ordinary Sighted Paranormal had mentioned food combinations and came up with a couple, and one was peanut butter and sardine sandwiches. Well, no, not going to happen. I do not like sardines. Though the other combination he mentioned was chocolate chip cookies, which is good, right? Everybody likes chocolate chip cookies. And can you take a guess? Mustard. It even has a picture of a hot dog. I think we got it at Aldi's or something. I don't know. So what he wants to do is put mustard on the cookie. Huh. See, he's even saying cookies. And Jen, I agree. I'm not thinking it's going to be good, but he said I should do it. And I'm feeling adventurous. So we're waiting to see if our guest is able to make it back tonight. We will go ahead and try that. Well, I get ready to do that. We will. Yeah, I agree. While we're doing that, why don't you do me a favor and click the like button if you want to see me eat this, or even if you don't want to see me eat this, click the like button, the happy button, the sad button, whatever button you can get. And I don't even think I want to do it. What do you guys think it's going to taste like? So first get rid of that nasty mustard water type stuff. So yeah, it's going to be a big bite. Come on, guys, give me a few likes for this. If I'm going to do anything, it's not paranormal. I understand. What can we do? You guys ready? Thanks, Ryan. It is the mustard is really intense. Oh my god. Can you see the pain? Oh. And the mustard and the chocolate is intense. Oh. Wow. I recommend do not do that. Oh, the mustard is stuck in my mouth. Probably be better. Dr. Pepper. I got some Fireball in my Freddy mug. Fireball whiskey. Was it worth the lack of viewers? Anything for you guys. The ones that are here every week. It's great. Oh, my friend, it was intense. That was the most intense mustard taste I've had in some time. And milk would have probably been a good Fireball. But I'm going to drink a little Dr. Pepper before the Fireball. Thank you. That's a little better. I don't think I'll eat any more cookies tonight. I have a whole bag of it here. And suddenly I am not interested. Just no interest in them. I don't think I'm going to let Lee suggest anything more. Hell yeah, Fireball. Yes, I like it. And thank you, Ryan. I'm glad I made your week. Yeah, now I feel like, it was worthwhile. Now, see, I don't think that'd be too bad. I don't think it'd be horrible, right? Chocolate covered everything is good, right? This is not, I don't believe this is going to turn into a weird food combo channel. So I got a message that our guest is not returning tonight. I didn't read it too deeply as into why. I'm assuming she said that she had to get up early, and so probably having internet trouble and such, and just decided to stop trying. So I really appreciate Dannie coming on tonight. That was awesome of her to tell us some of her stories. The Paranormal Central Station I go into and check out the stuff that people post. As she said, it's for anybody to post stuff. She does have it to where it needs to be approved by admin, which I don't blame her because people put weird stuff on Facebook sometimes. So I don't blame her there. So take a moment, go check it out. If you got stuff, go ahead and join up and post it. And all right, Lee's gonna call me out. I agree. I did ask him today. I mentioned that he brought up ketchup and ice cream last time, and I said, "What other weird things you got going through your mind?" And so that's came up with that. And Jay, the chocolate and pickle made him sick when he did it. So if it made you sick, why would you ask me to do it? And I lost track of what you said about Queen Latifah back there. And a little lower than her, you can see that little box there. That's my Festivus poll from Seinfeld. Festivus for the rest of us. Some things I'm gutsy about. So before I sign off and such, I like to leave these things going for at least an hour. We got a half hour, which is okay. I mean, if we need to, we can end it. But bring up any questions that you might have or any comments within reason. And if you guys want to suggest food combinations, I will not guarantee I'll try them, but I might revisit it and what made me think of that is pumpkin pie mayonnaise. Yeah, I don't know about that combination either. And Jen is saying, no. Yeah, Jay, open forum. I mean, why not? If anybody has any combinations, it won't be tried tonight. But like I said, if you want to suggest like apple pie with vanilla ice cream, I would probably try that. Pumpkin pie mixed with fireball. You know, rough stuff like that. I'm game. I actually showed up as an emoji. I'm surprised. So I'm also looking for people to be on the show. I've been kind of lazy with my searching for people. I kind of hit like a weird pumpkin pie with. I said fireball, not ketchup. But so at one point when the show was still kind of new, which it still is, I went gung ho and booked like 5 people on, ready to go. So that meant like I was booked out for like 2 months, and I felt bad making people wait and such. And no, they said it was okay. So I kind of slowed down and stopped asking people to be part of the show. And now it seems like I'm scrambling because I wait too long. Let's see. Pumpkin pie mixed with fireball. You know, there's a recipe for that. That's why I brought it up. Plus, I'm drinking it. But I think I'm going to try it. I'm sure it would probably taste great. Thank you, Jay, for reminding me. I forgot about that. I'll have to check into that. I believe I seen that. Oh yeah, Jen, I have not forgot about bringing you guys on. Looking forward to that. I am very sure that it will be a interesting, high energy show. Yeah, Lee. She sent a message and said that she had to get up early and having internet troubles. I just perused the message real quick and glanced that through there. Cinnamon roll soaked with apple cider. I don't think it would taste bad. I just think it would be a sloppy mess, and the texture probably would mess with my mind. I mean, I can't imagine it would taste bad. I mean, like, I still taste the mustard from that cookie. Are you kidding me? Ugh. I was hungry for cookies too. I thought I would take a bite off that and be able to eat cookies later, but I don't I don't believe that's going to be the case. I have no desire for them now. So is there anything about the paranormal you guys want to talk about? Feel free to ask any questions that you have for me. You know, I've been doing this podcast for about, I don't know, 4 or 5 months now, I think. And I'm still not comfortable just bantering with the camera, nobody in front of me. But you guys chatting is definitely helping out quite a bit. Yeah, I don't have an iron stomach. You excuse me. You wanting to be the host of the show, Jay? I'm sure I could help you out. It is a vlog. But for those that don't know, I also take the audio off this without the video and put it in podcast form on Spotify and such with the with the app called Anchor. So this is currently a vlog, which will be turned into a podcast. So shows what you know. No. That does not mean that you get to create and I digest it. My palate, my taste of food and desire for food is very, very limited on what I like to eat and such. So I imagine it wouldn't take much to get me sick on camera. And I've already told if I get sick, I'm the one cleaning it up. And I don't think I care to do that. Let's see here. Is there such a thing as a haunted vehicle? For instance, an ambulance. You work for EMS and some scary things happen on board, wondering if it's a common thing. Yeah, I could see where that would be a thing. I mean, of course, you always hear things like that in movies and such. And I imagine if somebody that's confused and such that had passed might not be so quick to pass over and just hang on to the last little bit of human side they have. With that being said, I have a little story that you might want to sing note for note. No, I'm not Bobby McFerrin. When we were visiting, me, Steph, Heather, and my son Nathan were visiting a cemetery in Jamestown, New York, Hollenbeck Cemetery. I believe it was the first time we didn't go into the cemetery because it was night and we weren't sure about the whole trespassing. We didn't see no signs and such. So literally the cemetery was 100 feet from the road, so it wasn't very far. The story behind that cemetery is primarily for children that passed away. And while we were there, I got the bright idea to hook up the spirit box through an FM transmitter to the car stereo and we did a live session, spirit box session, and it worked. We got responses through it, and it was an interesting situation. Well, I don't know if we just didn't. I believe we forgot to say a prayer and ask for everything to stay behind and such. You know, typical things that groups do when they leave a place. And after that night, we had all kinds of fun things going on. From we'd get in the car when the stereo was off, and it would be full blast volume. We'd be sitting there with the volume, you know, normal, and it would turn up on us. The channels would change stations out of the blue and such. You know, we'd be listening to something, and the radio would just switch to a different station. So we thought that maybe it was just wiring or whatever. So we would take the faceplates off. It was back when the security plates were a common thing in cars. When people were worried about their stereos being stolen, they would take the faceplate. Well, that's supposed to take the power away from the stereo so it wouldn't turn on. Well, guess what? We'd still get, we would still have it turn on and play music and such, which is not supposed to be possible. So Steph took it to a garage and said, hey, we need you to look at this because this ain't right. Well, about an hour or so later, she got a call saying, come pick up the car. And we did, and they had no explanation. They were clueless why it could. And they said, please never bring that car back there again, because they didn't want nothing to do with it. They acted kind of sketchy and scared, I guess, from my understanding. And we actually had the car blessed by Dale and never had a problem after that. So for a long explanation, yes, I believe, in my personal opinion, vehicles can be haunted. Wow, that was a long-winded explanation, wasn't it? I hope you enjoyed the story. If I was a Ghostbuster, if I think that's what that's supposed to say, which one would I be? Well, of course, everybody wants to be Bill Murray's character. Why wouldn't they? I think I'd be kind of Dan Aykroyd's character there. I feel like I would be more along his vibe. I probably wouldn't get so excited about a fire pole and slide down, but other than that, yeah, I would have to say that would be who. Bill was Peter Venkman, I believe that was the character. Jen says, I found out my sister who passed away from cancer in the apartment she lived in. There has been 3 different tenants, and they all have moved out because they say she is haunting the apartment. First, Jen, I want to apologize, send my condolences about your sister passing away. Cancer sucks. We need to, as a human race, need to figure out how to cure that and get rid of that. And as far as that's crazy that people are moving out and because they see her. You think she's chasing them away? Was she? Did she pick on you a lot when you guys are growing up, and now you can understand why they would move away? I want to know. The car garage in Starbrick digital readout said, yeah. I forgot about that, Lee. We were in an investigation in a garage, and you know how certain radios will display the text of the song or whatnot would have actual words. It actually cursed and said "F you" across it, and if I remember correctly, the volume like spiked up on it, and that's what made us go look at it, and it was saying "F you." Yeah, that garage was crazy to say the least. Yes, we think she is chasing them away. There's also a demonic presence there too. She was an empath. Is that a situation your group going to get into? If you believe there's a demonic presence, I would recommend that you get Dale's information from me and let him help you with that. Not trying to step on any toes or anything, but he's very well versed in helping people with such issues. I don't know if you have any resources like that available to you. If you do, then feel free to disregard that. But if not, then feel free to get a hold of me and I'll pass you the information along. Ryan says, when I was 15, I ran away from my foster home and was out in the middle of nowhere. I was walking near the woods and I looked behind me. A light green ball of light was hovering behind me. But as soon as I looked at it, it flew away quick. But I would look back again and it would be right back following me. Thought it was a firefly, but it would follow me, kind of like it was trying to protect me. Is that the energy you got from it? It was protection? Asking what that could have been. I'm not sure. There's a lot of things that we as humans, we feel like we know a lot, but we are very infantile when it comes to knowing about the paranormal and such. Of course, we got some people that are very well knowledge and such things. If you got the feeling that was there to protect you, I would have to say that it was some kind of guardian energy, guardian angel protection. I would have to agree with that. It sounds like you weren't trying to run away or anything like that. So, and other than it sounded like that, you were kind of maybe a little cautious and on edge because it was there. you weren't to the point where you thought, oh my God, I need to get away before I'm attacked. So I would have to say sometimes if that's the only way that your mind can comprehend that something's there, I believe they will come to us in forms that we're willing to accept. And I say them, the spirits and such. That's about the best explanation I have. If anybody else in the chat has one that they'd like to say, to include or to contradict, feel free. Yeah, always ask permission to be on places. That's gonna save you a lot of headache with and a lot of money, because trespassing charges will add up. Yeah, sounds like Jen says it sounds like a protection ball to me, a guardian angel. Right, I feel the same, especially since he said that the energy didn't seem to be aggressive towards him. Ryan agrees. He was feeling that I was trying to protect, very positive energy. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I feel like a lot of times, even though it might be a ball of energy, it might be a young child image, animals. I believe that our minds are they know what we're willing to accept to see, in my opinion. Back to the chat. Jen says that she believes that it's some guardian for you, Ryan. Always keep that guardian with you. Yes, try not to chase away your guardians. I don't mean to chuckle, because I can't imagine anybody would purposely try to get anything away from them that was protecting them. But I'm sure it's happened. So, yeah, I'm trying to clear my thought of somebody screaming at their guardian angel, "Get shoo! Don't come around me." Jen, I had mentioned 8th Street and Fulton Street in Jamestown, New York, and you said the place is still active. Is there anything in mind that you're thinking of when you say that, or just from what you're hearing? What else would you guys like to see on this show? Paranormal wise, I throw in the weird food combos just because I know you guys love seeing people in pain watching that kind of stuff, and it takes a minute to do, so it's not that big of a deal. And I'm sure the faces I look at is faces I make is probably crazy paranormal like too. And Jay, I think I'm gonna take that poster down and donate it to you, man. You are obsessed with that poster. Speaking of posters, I plan on having a wasp poster made for an area Society of Paranormal. It's already designed. It's just a matter of coming up with a few bucks to have it printed off and sent here to me. It's a pretty cool design. Once that's done, that will probably show up back there more towards this way. So when that happens, Jay, you just want to end up with that poster. For those that are listening to the podcast, behind me I have a Queen Latifah Beauty Shop poster, and Jay Wow has been bringing it up every episode since. Let's see. Jen says lots of spirit activity. As a kid, there was one house on the corner of Fulton and 8th that maybe I'll tell more about it on a different show, because I speak of it from time to time. But pretty much I grew up on Fulton Street till I was about 11, and I would have recurring dreams about this house. And the dream involved something evil underneath the porch that I was always trying to run from. It was a reoccurring dream. And every time I would try to visit my friend that lived there, there would be an older lady that would come downstairs, and forgive me, I know it's not politically correct, but this will put the image in your mind of what I'm speaking of. the woman they used for the Aunt Jemima syrup. It was that type of character. Would come down and chide me for trying to run from this monster that was underneath this porch, and she was always there to save me. And so I had that dream multiple times, and the house was different. And when I brought it up to the owner of the house many years later and described to him what the house looked like in my dream, he was shocked because he said that was exactly how the house looked like back before it was remodeled, as well as he showed me something that really freaked me out was in my dreams I always found a braided bracelet on a nightstand, and he happened to have one. He said he found on the property, and when he showed it to me like 15 years later, it was exactly like the one in my dreams. And once again, I was around 6 years old at this point. There was also a few houses down at the other end that just always seemed to be empty, and just always everybody, all the neighborhood kids would freak out and run past it at night, and it was just crazy. Ryan, I see your question. We'll get back to it. I'll scroll back to it in a second. Don't take down the queen. We'll see, Jay. Which house? And you lived on Fulton Street. I don't know if he's still there, but oh well, it's my story, right? There's a big gray house right on the corner of Fulton and 8th Street. It's got a big wraparound porch, 2 doors, and it would be on the right-hand side if you're going down towards the Love School. It'd be on the right-hand side of the road. All the doors are on 8th Street, so hopefully that helps out. Now, Ryan, abandoned hospitals or asylum. Are you asking which one would I investigate? I would have to say hospital I would feel a little more safer in, because I feel like the spirits there might be a little emotionally upset and full of energy. I just feel like asylums, if there's spirits there that they the mental illnesses they had alive would carry over to the afterlife. You know what I mean? So if I hadn't a group of people, like if I had Wasp with me, I would jump in, because we've worked with each other and we've known to trust each other all this time. So I would go with them, but I would be a little hesitant about groups that I don't know. Lakeview Cemetery, I agree, Jen. I got a nice video that's been doing very well for me about Grace Galloway, the woman in glass, and I plan on going back to shoot a better video. I didn't realize so many people would be interested in it. It was just a quick one-day video, just kind of scrolling through and going through looking for Lucille Ball to do a quick investigation at her site, and did a quick video on Grace and the lady in glass, and that's probably my most viewed video on YouTube. It's got over 6,000 views, which is really surprising. But if you get a chance, go to Hollenbeck Cemetery. That's the one where my car got possessed. Still a creepy looking house. Yeah, I'm sure it is. And I know the owner. I believe he still lives there, though he's only there from time to time. I don't think he's there full time. And he's like I said, I told him my crazy dreams, I thought they were silly and everything, and as I was telling the story, his face got more serious, and I finally asked, "Well, what?" And he goes, "Well, that's how the house looked before, and upstairs was the help room. People that like the servants and such would live in and you know what I'm saying." Any hospitals in Jamestown? I don't think Warren. I don't think WCA would be haunted. I'm sure there might be a stray one or two there, but I bet you the one on Allen Street that's now like rehab and things like that. I bet you that has a long history, and I bet you that has hauntings in there. I would almost be willing to bet if somebody went in there with some equipment, you'd find some. It's on. It used to be by Evans Skateland, Jones Hill Hospital, and Miss Galloway would be the one. Yes, she passed away from tuberculosis at an early age. She was buried in Lakeview, and the stone is marble, and her father was an oil tycoon. I used to work for Lakeview Cemetery, so you should have a pretty good understanding of the history. And if you look at the statue, it's just beautiful, very detailed. The dress looks like a real dress, to the point where people nowadays still question on if it wasn't a real dress. Forgive me for taking a shot of Fireball. Everybody like my excuse me, Nightmare on Elm Street glass mug. Yeah, you gotta like Freddy. Let's see. The original WCA is still standing over on Jones Hill. Yeah, I agree. But like I said, I feel that if you're able to go in with the equipment, if they were willing to let you, that would be the one hospital that would have some. And I don't think there's any other hospitals that were there. There might have been some little ones. And yeah, okay, Jay. If you believe Michael's is better, I think you haven't kept up with the horror history franchise. I'm not sure if we can get into the old WCA hospital, and yes, it is a real dress she is buried in. Her dad had a picture done and sent it to Italy, where they made the statue of Miss Galloway. Right, yeah, the statue's dress, the had such fine detail, the lace work and such, that it looks real. Hey Ryan, I really appreciate you joining us once again. I know I've seen your comments before. Really appreciate it. I try to do live shows every 2 Saturdays, so in 2 Saturdays from today, in 2 weeks. But I've been kind of kicking around the idea sometime in the middle of the week, just throwing a link out for people to just jump on and be a guest and give them like 5 minutes to talk and just kind of freestyle like I am tonight. The only difference is you'd be on the camera with me, and just kind of free for all vibe. But that's kind of been kicking in my head. I also plan on doing possibly a live video throughout the week. At least one coming back to the Lakeview Cemetery with Lady in Glass, if I could get a good enough internet connection there again. So there's a possibility of videos coming up outside of 2 weeks. But if not, you will see me again in 2 Saturdays. So I hope you have a great night, and thank you for joining once again. Really appreciate it. And of course, Lee is a big Jason fan, but I still believe Freddy got the best of him on Freddy versus Jason. And dare to compare what? My movie trivia? Maybe that could be a live show. Have people look up a bunch of stuff and ask us questions, huh? The only thing that I will have to say, Jay, that you will probably get me on is the names. I'm not very good with remembering names, so you might get me on that. But interesting topics like off the wall knowledge of stuff, I might get you. No, there are no others here. We have the Fenton Historical Society. Yeah, I was about to say, I was going to bring that up. We have the Fenton Historical Society is another place, but we cannot investigate there. We have already asked to bring in a team, and we were rejected. That's a shame that you're rejected. I've been thinking about speaking with them, and if there's ever a chance for me to get in there, I will connect with you guys and see if I could have you guys join in. I believe Jamestown Paranormal, JPI, I believe that they've been in there once before, and I will talk to them, see if they did, and if they did, how they went about making that connection. You're welcome, Ryan. Hopefully you hear this. You're welcome, and no, definitely thank you. You guys are what keeps the show making it worthwhile and making it look like I have an audience instead of just sitting here talking to myself into the multiverse with no reason other than just ramble. Who is the better horror icon? Out of the three that was mentioned, Freddy, Michael, and Jason, I would say Freddy. But if we're going to go for everything, we have to think about the old school too. Like, come on now, the Blob, how many people did they kill? So depends on how far you want to go with it. Hacker slashers, I mean, what about the Hills Have Eyes? They have a pretty big kill count and such. But nobody was more classy than Freddy. Come on now. Yeah, I definitely will let you know. And yeah, the Boys and Girls Club. I was there back before it was Boys and Girls and just the Boys Club. My personal feelings of that place as a kid when I was in there, I didn't really feel nothing. The only place that I really felt a little creeped out was in the, and I don't know what it'd be now, but in the boys' locker room going to the pool, there was like, if I remember correctly, there was a little hallway or whatever, and I always got a little creeped out there, like something was just kind of hanging out there. And so I would rush through there real quick and try to get to the pool. Of course, everybody thought I was just a young kid trying to get to the swimming pool to swim quicker, which is true. But it was more than that, because every once in a while I'd be the only one there to go to the pool because I was really early or real late. And I would get this weird feeling like I need to get out of that little spot or else. And right, it was in the basement. I remember going down the stairs to get to it. So that's about my personal experience there. But I will be honest with you, I'm not like a medium sensitive or anything like that. 99.80,000% of the time, I need equipment to tell if anything is wrong. Jay says all Jason and Michael would have to do is take him and bye Freddy. How did that work for the ones that still ended up dying in the Dream Warriors and such? But props to knowing the name of the medicine. But I believe Freddie made one of the women in that movie become a primetime guest. So yeah, generally I'm not on this time of night, and I wasn't sure how this was going to work. Wasn't sure if if it was going to be a lower view count as far as people joining in, or if it would become more because people are on later on the weekends. Um, but I will say it didn't really matter to me because I knew a lot of the people that tune in on a regular basis would be here, and I really appreciate that. And you guys really do make me look good. They missed a dose, right? Freddie's just a little too much. Oh, Freddie's a little too much into children. Oh, you went there. Oh man, I don't believe Jason was one haunting kids camp. You know, so come on now. Though there's not a ton of people on, one thing I've always wanted to know is Jason a zombie, a demon? What kind of entity is he? Because kind of weird. So back to the paranormal. And speaking of the Boys and Girls Club and paranormal and all that, I remember two things that would be paranormal in the sense of the Ghostbusters. I remember playing the computer video game of Ghostbusters there, and that was awfully fun. I remember we had to type in run /run blah blah blah, and I also we were I remember around Halloween we watched the movie in the lounge. I agree. At least Michael and Jason went after teenage. Oh, come on, guys! Now you're taking it to a weird level. I believe Michael Myers was not after teenagers. He was after his sister, and the teenagers just happened to be in the way. Right? And I believe Jason didn't do any of the real killings for quite a few movies. It was a mommy issue, if I remember correctly. He had to have mommy take care of a couple things. Yeah, I know you can spin it any way you want, Jason. And his sister was a teenager in the first one. For those that are here for the paranormal side of things, I apologize that they want to take it to the horror side of things. I think what they're doing is they're getting into the Halloween spirit with, all these scary movies and everything that's going on. Now, one thing I do like to do when it comes to watching movies like that is I often sit back and wonder what I would do if a client came and said that they were being haunted by such horror movie icons and such, like Freddy or whatever, and how Warren Area Society Paranormal would go about on combating them. If like, how would you fight a dream demon or a zombie coming after you with a machete, or somebody with sister issues, and and I try to put myself in a situation where what tools would we use and things like that. And yeah, well, you're not Celtic druid there, so let's not get too crazy there, Jay. Oh no. We sent Dale in first for some of that stuff. A funny story with me and Lee, and I know he gets mad every time I tell this tale. We were at Guernsey Hollow in Prudensburg, New York at the cemetery, and we were there. I believe this was our very first time. It was late at night, so we weren't going in the cemetery. We were at the very start of it, and so we were investigating. We went up the road a little bit. We could still see the vehicles in the entrance of the cemetery. It was me, Lee, and a past member, Betsy, and we started seeing some weird stuff going on down by the vehicles and such. And yeah, see, I'm even ashamed to admit this. As we were seeing the stuff going on, Lee says he wasn't doing this, but we both were backing up behind her and put Betsy in front of us. And finally I was like, wait a second, we can't be putting a woman in front of us for that's in front of danger. I would get my official Joe Biden ghost gun. No issues. Let's stay out of political stuff. But yeah, Lee likes to bring up the fact that ghost guns would be good. Interesting question and trivia for you guys. Interesting, and I'll tell you pretty quickly. But I was really surprised and shocked about the first television ghost hunting group there was. It was a cartoon back in like 1940s. Can you guess it real quick? And I'll give you all a minute, and then I'll give you the answer of who it was. And Lee's statement about ghost guns is what made me think about it, because they actually used a shotgun as part of their hunting arsenal. Ooh, that fireball went down pretty rough. But so if you have any idea who that might be, leave a comment below. Excuse me, guys. Sorry about that. So I think I need a regular drink. That fireball must have bones. Like I said, I apologize. This where it would have been nice to have another person on, because I could do this and you guys wouldn't have no clue, because the guests would be talking and no, Lee, it's not Sam and Dean. Though they did like to use shotguns and such. The first group that I'm thinking of, and it really shocked me because I think you can find it on Disney Plus, but the first ghost hunting team before Scooby and them was even a thing was Mickey Mouse, Donald Duck, and Goofy. I don't know Goofy's last name. No, not Casper. Or them. Well, I don't know. Maybe it was Abbott, and so I might have to check on that. But yeah, they actually had a formal ghost hunting group, which was pretty neat. Sorry, I'm hearing noises over my shoulder, and I think I'm seeing shadows in my TV monitor, but I believe that is from the fan. As you can see, it's so I think I'm seeing stuff out of the corner of my eyes. But yeah, so Mickey, Donald, and Goofy had a had a ghost hunting group, and they actually had those 3 ghosts call them up and call them out to their house. And they had a shotgun and bat and rope and and I wonder why we don't use that stuff for our investigations, huh? I'm not sure. I don't think Abbott and Costello was before them, but you might have me on that, Jay. And for those that are still here and such, I believe this place that I'm in currently is haunted. That was kind of weird because I don't think whatever's here is here all the time. I don't know if it just comes to visit or whatever, but this kind of seems like we'll go for a few days of activity, then go for months with nothing. I could take this off. And put this on. So, yeah, we've had odds and ends thing happen here. One of the creepier things is our one grandchild, Andy, was here, and he was looking out the living room window to the river, which is not far from my backyard, and he started singing a song that was not in English. And his grandmother was asking, what was he singing? And he replied that he didn't know. And she asked him where he heard it from, and he pointed out the window, I believe, and said he was listening to the older lady down by the river singing to him. And this was supposedly in a different language, and she was wearing a dark colored dress. And he was about, I'd say 4 at the time, 4 years old. That was probably one of the creepier things that's happened here. We do hear kids laughing once in a while. When I'm upstairs, which I am currently now, what I should say is when I'm downstairs, everybody's downstairs, nobody else is here, we'll hear footsteps and such up here. I believe I'm in a loft area. We're in my loft. And I believe this is an area that they like to just kind of hang out at because I'll hear little odds and ends here. And I get the feeling sometimes that this is their spot and they're being nice enough to share it with me. What else happened? We had a kid's toy turn on and start making noise on its own when there was no kids around, no grandkids or anything. It was just me and Steph. That was pretty interesting. We had a fireplace poker up on the wall by the fireplace, and it was hung on a hook, and it just started slowly swinging on its own. And we don't have air conditioning or anything that would explain why that would happen. So all kinds of little odds and ends, and I know what some of you guys are thinking. Why aren't you investigating this place and such? And we probably will sooner or later. Maybe that will be our Halloween special. I don't know. But if we do, it will be live, and we will see what we could do. So if anybody in the comments care to, are you living in a location that is haunted, or would you stay in a place that is haunted? We did take a gun ghost hunting ... once. Yes, Lee, we did. And that ended pretty quickly, if I remember correctly, not because we did anything wrong and we weren't in trouble or anything, but we were going to a location and it was fast hours, and the police showed up and said, do not go in there. And we are law-abiding citizens as much as possible. And we said, okay, thank you, have a nice night. And we went on our way. At least that's how I remember it. I'm wrongly meant to go ahead and say that I'm wrong. So yeah, if you were in a place that is haunted, would you stay in that place? Or would you get out of Dodge? And Jen says, yes, I'm in a place where it is haunted by a previous owner. I guess the next question of that would be is, do you guys get along, or are you constantly trying to get that person to leave if you're living in a haunted location? The place here, we get along pretty decent. I can't say every once in a while it gets a little creeped out, but that's generally when things are happening in the middle of the night. What else has happened here? That seems to be the biggest thing. Like when I had the green screen up here for a bit, which eventually I guess I'll get back up. It did not seem to like that, and it pulled it right down. If you go back through my YouTube videos, you'll be able to find that. For those that are on Facebook, that's youtube.com/Warren Area Society of Paranormal. If you will do me a huge favor, if you haven't been there, go there and subscribe, because we need the subscribers there. That's my shameless plug. But we do have videos there that have disappeared off our Facebook page, which is still there on our YouTube page. Jason asks, do you believe that media influences one idea of paranormal activity around them? Yeah, sure, of course. Media, all types of media. You don't generally hear a lot of it in the news because unless it's around Halloween or a very occasional local story. So I won't say news so much because they don't really touch on it. But I mean, look at how much it's blown up, like on the Travel Channel, Sci-Fi Channel, all of them, and some of it's good, some of it's bad. Like how many people are running around now ripping off their shirt like Zach Bagan. So yes, I believe media has a big influence, because 30 years ago you would never have heard of a paranormal investigator if it wasn't for like Ed and Lorraine Warren, if other than haunted houses and such for Halloween. So yes, they do. Is there any particular one you have in mind, or movies as well? I guess we've heard different movies. We go as kids and such that freak us out, and it taught us to be fearful of the paranormal. And that's not good to be fearful, because then you start doing things that you wouldn't normally do and get yourself in some serious situations. Jen says, yes, we get along as far as living with somebody that's as the person living in her home, that's the spirit. She goes, yes, we get along. He walks up and down the stairs some days and nobody's around, and he moves things and tells me not to shut windows. Yeah, wow, that'd be crazy, huh? Glad you get along. Me and that person would not get along, because I love my windows open. I'm always warm, so yeah, we would not get along. And speaking of another friend who's in the paranormal, hello Heather. Can you guys hear me good? Because I know I'm not really speaking real loud. How you doing tonight? I hope you're doing well. While you're here and we have you on the spot, what was the one case that you investigated with us, Heather, and that really got you nervous? I'll put you on the spot. And yeah, I didn't like Zach because he was always challenging things. He was always shouting out, saying, um, just challenging them, like, come at me, bro. Just the energy they had. So, and I didn't like that because, as a paranormal investigators, we go in homes and clients' businesses and such, and we go in, a lot of us, and we're like, if we start provoking and such, we get to leave and say, have a nice night, enjoy your demons. And they got to stay there and put up with that. I mean, that's not very nice. So if you don't have means to give a solution to their problem, try to be respectful and don't provoke. Yeah. Well, Jen says our team says he is too overexcited on it. Yeah, that I can excuse him for, because it is a TV show and you have to provide high energy to keep the excitement up, to keep people watching. Like, I feel bad because my personality is not high strung, high energy. If I get really excited, I might for a moment. So I feel bad because I'm not giving that high energy to you guys, and so, but that wouldn't be me. So what can I say? So I kind of excuse that because he's trying to keep his TV show going. But he is sometimes a little overboard. I noticed he's tamed down a little bit. The other thing that I kind of didn't like about them is poor Aaron. They were always saying, we're on location where this person killed 8,000 nuns in this very small room that's 4 foot by 6 foot. And we're going to send Aaron in there with a satanic Bible all by himself for an hour locked down. And after they provoke the spirits for an hour or two, now we're going to send them. Hey, Lee, if you're watching this still, I think that's what we need to do with JWoww. Yes, that's what I'm saying, Lee, is he's always trying to provoke. Jason says what Zach does is because he is a Persuado celebrity, and I'm sure I said that wrong. His status allows him to get away with what he does. I believe a lot of it is just high energy to keep the show going. Because, I mean, how many years has it been? 14 years that they were on TV? I can't imagine doing this for 14 years and not having to do a lot to keep it going. Mike's garage was a real challenge. Excuse me. Yeah, this garage that we spoke of, Lee touched on it earlier when he said about the car audio or the car stereo. The volume blasted on it, and so we went to look see what's going on, and it came across on the display. Literally, it said the full word telling us to F you, and it's like, that's pretty crazy. But there was a lot of shadows, a lot of spirits there that seemed to be kind of, for the most part, curious and interacting. And then the last night we were there, it got pretty dark and crazy. So yeah, Mike's garage was and it's not his anymore. And I say that so people would don't call it that anymore. But yeah, that was a real challenge for sure. Jen says we like Nick and the tap teams. Nick Groff, I believe that might be who you're speaking of. Yeah, I was a really big fan of the Taps team, Ghost Hunter, for a lot of seasons, but then they kind of seemed to get a little too televised, too much into the television series. And that's when I feel Grant left, and they kind of went their separate ways. And I was really excited when Grant came back, but I don't think it was ever truly the same. I felt Jason and Grant, and this is just my opinion, I don't know for sure, but I felt Grant wanted to keep it more original from the original start, and Jason wanted to grow it into more than what it was. So, and Nick, I can't think of a lot to say about him, so I'll just leave it at that. Jay said, would I be investigating the tragedy of Miss Kroger? How about investigating the tragedy of Lee's toilet? I don't know, people. I must be getting tired. Sorry. And Heather says, remember that one room we all went in? Our legs got weak. We all felt the energy. We had to leave that room. Was I in that room, Heather? I don't remember that quite per se. But we were there several times. I'm not quite sure. You might have to refresh my memory. But a funny story about that garage. We did a public auction for charity, and we had to bring people in to investigate. And so there was like 4 or 5 people there with our team. And we were going through, and we were in the old lady's bathroom that was no longer in use. And it's late at night, everything's dark, and bathrooms with no power on is pretty dark. And so me being part of the group hosting this, I stayed behind when I thought everybody else was gone. And I figured I'd be the last one out for safety reasons. I was looking to the left, and the door, and everybody was leaving off the right. And so I thought everybody was gone. I looked back over to the right, and there was a person standing there. And I could have sworn, thinking everybody was gone, that was a spirit or something. So it startled me. I was like, let out a little yelp like a scared little schoolgirl. And forgive me if you're a woman, but when I did that, the woman that stayed behind for whatever reason gave a start too. She kind of screamed a little bit too, because she was, here I am, the professional, screaming, and for no reason that she could see. And so yeah, that gave me a nice little start and a nice little laugh. And we both laughed, and it kind of broke a little tense experience too, because the energy was building up at that point as well in the building. And so it was nice to kind of have that laugh, but it never looks good to scream like a little girl when you're on an investigation. All right, yeah, I think I remember you guys talking about it though, and Joel said that his legs were pretty cold too. Laugh your ass off at Jason. Okay, I see why you're laughing, but yeah, it never looks good when you're startled and you're supposed to be the professional of the group, of the person in the room. Raffle night, right? It was a group of people that we raffled tickets off to, because we felt that it was a pretty safe place. We were there several times and nothing major happened. And when you believe in the night that we had people there for the raffles tonight, things got a little out there. And it could have been just because there was people there, new people. That's another thing for teams out there, is if you group up with another team, keep in mind that the energy is different, and people that you're used to being with, you get used to their energy and what's going to happen around them, to where you bring on new people, you don't know what kind of energy they're going to bring and how the spirits are going to interact. Jay says, would have been better off to take them through the Warren Mall. Yeah, I agree, Jay. But the atmosphere of the garage was a little creepy, you know what I mean? Like an abandoned garage, creepy vibe, and we were there more for the ambience of it. It was definitely had activity, don't get me wrong. We weren't trying to promote it, a false claim, but it was pretty safe for the most part. So we were leaving, and I'm glad we were able to not have no serious incident as far as physical or whatnot. Jen says, I'd have to look into our armory here and maybe see if we can investigate. Yeah, that'd be a cool one. You're talking about over there by the school, right? And Lee says his best laugh was Joel at the armory. Yeah, so we've been to this place a few times, and Lee was just not feeling interested in doing it again. And so we let everybody to believe. And so while everybody was setting up and things were starting at this place, we had a bunch of younger kids, like high school kids, 16 and such, there to investigate as well. We're teaching them some things about how to investigate. Everybody in the group was not aware of that. I let Lee in through the back door, and he snuck down to the basement of this big, huge building. And so we were setting up. He was down there for a couple minutes. And our one group member, Joel, went downstairs, or I'm sorry, it's been a while. No, I believe Heather was the first one down there, right, Lee? Anyway, so it ended up to where somebody went downstairs and said they were hearing noises down in the basement and such. So Joel and I went down to check it out, and I was laughing to myself because I knew what was going on. And we went to the back of this building where Lee was and this basement was huge, and where Lee was a good 12 feet away from us, so he was definitely not visible. And he's in the back, kind of growling, "Get out," and throwing little pebbles towards our direction. And Joel kind of got a start because he had no clue. He thought it was truly paranormal, and he started to get out of there as quickly as possible. Something on the floor slowed him down enough to where he was able to regain his composure. But yeah, he was definitely getting out of Dodge. It freaked him out good. Our one member, Ursula, she was all gung ho. She was ready to go down and check out the investigation or the situation all by herself. I'm like, slow down. No, you should bring somebody with you. So yeah, that was definitely a pretty fun night. And eventually we did tell those. We didn't do it to the kids, because that wouldn't have been nice. Yeah, Heather, you definitely were drawn to the place. And yeah, that's what I was saying. That'd be a nice place to investigate, Jen, is the Armory in Jamestown by Lincoln School. Matt, Mr. Paranormal Consultant himself, finally showing up 2 hours later. It is past my bedtime, and I probably won't be on much longer. I really appreciate everybody chatting with me and asking questions and talking, because without you guys, I would have ended this about 20 minutes ago, and or I would have been just staying here eating sitting here eating cookies with mustard on it. See, Matt, you missed that, didn't you? Yeah, you were down there too, Heather. You were. I just wasn't. I can't remember the exact order who went down first and such. And Matt, you think anybody cares? Penn State won? Yeah. Can you believe this guy? This guy, Matt, ditched my show to watch a Penn State game. The glimmer on the fedora is fading. Yeah, you know, I'm not used to being up this late at night. And not only that, I usually have guests on and I let them do the talking. And it keeps me, I just throw in a few questions here and there. Let them, for each question, they usually take about 10 minutes to answer. And, not a big deal. Makes me look really good. So you guys are getting the brunt end of my rambling on. And can't miss church. Penn State football is like church for me. Can't miss church, according to Matt, Mr. Paranormal Consultant. So Matt, you going to eat a chocolate chip cookie with mustard? I missed the game for okay, Lee. I missed the game for this. Something tells me you're not very much into college football, so don't try that. I mean, Matt says he hasn't missed a Penn State game in 27 years. Hey, Matt, answer me this. What's that have to do with paranormal? I don't go to your show talking about the New York Giants football. I mean, everybody would be interested in my comments if I did that because that's the best team there is in the world. The Giants. Come on now. Anyways, so all right, Matt. Matt says he'll be right back. So with all that being said, I will probably wrap up soon, but I'm having fun with this conversation with you guys. So feel free to ask any more questions. I will try to come up with any kind of information I have and regale you with my stories with it. And the Giants actually play this year. They're not doing good at all. They're 0-2, I believe. There'd be nothing to talk about. You must be losing your mind. I have no clue what you're speaking of there, sir. So Lee has a interesting idea that we should take a shot, at least, if not multiple shots of whiskey or bourbon before each investigation. And sometimes I'm inclined to believe them. So, yeah, see, now a lot of you guys don't realize this, but they're still talking about football in the chat. So, the one place that I would love to bring the group to, Warren Area Society of Paranormal, to, let's see how many times I can say the word "to," on an investigation, I think would be, there's a place around Fredonia, New York, that, as far as I know, nobody's been legally allowed to investigate. But people do break into it from time to time. And that would be JB Adams Hospital. There was a lot of death to TB wings and and psychiatric issues and all that. And so it's big. I can't imagine with all the bad things that were happening there that it wouldn't be a very active. I can't believe that it wouldn't be active and huge. And that's one place that I would love that's local to bring everybody to. And I'm still hesitant about doing mental asylums because, like I said earlier, I can't imagine the spirits that are there resting and having the best intentions for people that visit now. But with that being said, I did say earlier, with my current team that I'm part of, I would feel safe enough to have them with me to go in and investigate this huge place. And there's videos on YouTube. I don't know if it's JD or JB as in Bob, JD as in dog, or JB as in Bob hospital. I think it's JD Adams Hospital. There should be lots of videos on it. Let's see. Jason says, why am I hearing whipping sounds in the background? I'm not hearing no whipping sounds. You talking about in your house? I don't know about what's going on in your home, Jay. There's no whipping sounds here. The closest TV or noise is downstairs in the living room, and that's like 4 or 5 rooms away downstairs. Yeah, Jen. The next scheduled one will be in 2 Saturdays, and I'm really happy you keep joining us and talking and such, because you asked some very interesting questions and very and have a lot to say that I find useful. No drinking before investigations is what I think Heather is trying to say. Weekend after. And we have. There's been a few times that we after everybody's dropped off and such and made their way home, me and Lee went and had a few drinks, chasing different spirits, and no more Guernsey. Jay, next time we go to Guernsey, if we go to Guernsey, I'm sure we will. It will be because we have new equipment to use, like like a thermal or something that we could try different things out. Matt says, Jason, I believe our idea needs to happen soon. What idea? I don't know what y'all are talking about. Lee says, so you want us to commit a B&E? No breaking and entry. I'm just saying if we could legally do it, we'd go to J.B. Adams Hospital in Fredonia, New York. I don't think it's in Fredonia. I think it's in Pine Forest, Pine Valley, maybe. And Matt says, I have an idea for a great place to investigate. And where is that? And Heather, I am so far gone, I don't know what yes is to. What place are you thinking about, Matt? Yeah, that hospital has been closed down for a lot of years, but I'm saying if we could get permission to get in, that would be awesome. Not breaking an entry. We try not to do that illegal things if we could help it. But for the greater good of helping a spirit move along, we might. I don't know. Yes, Matt, I understand it's a haunted location. What location are you thinking of? And Jen, I'm not letting you off the hook that easy. You guys have said that you'll be on, and we will get you on to be a guest. And maybe we'll stream you guys for 4 hours to break the record that my counterpart Matt has. He's streamed for 3 hours and 21 minutes, just to make sure he beat my record of streaming. And yeah, Jen says, "Hey, now my team is playing in Guernsey. Hopefully soon." The reason why Jay is saying no more to Guernsey, we've been there like 20 times. I've been there several times on my own. Well, not like single, but with outside of Wasp, and so I won't say we're burnt out, because it seems like every time we've been there, we've gotten stuff, but it's not top priority anymore. That's for sure. But yeah, I mean, it's a great place for people that are just getting back into the paranormal, or looking for something to get into without needing a lot of background and such to do it. So don't think we're discouraging it by any means. Well, yeah, true enough, Matt. Anywhere that's haunted, that'd be a great place. True enough. Hello, Kevin. Welcome aboard. I haven't seen you chat here before, though. I know you watch. Excuse me. I know you watch our videos, and you check out our social media on a regular basis. I'm glad you're able to catch a live show for once. What about the Hinsdale house? Been there a few times, never been in it, but got offered to come up to hang one night, but never took up the offer. Excuse me. Yeah, I'm working and trying to figure out how I could get the Hinsdale house to do a live video for the 100th video on YouTube, our 100th video. And right now we're at like 93 videos on YouTube. So, yeah, it's a place that I've been personally interested in. And when I bring it up to the group, they seem to be very willing to and wanting to do so. So don't be surprised if you see that video pop up. I'll send you a personal message, Kevin, letting you know when it's going to happen. And we've spoke of possibly getting the Hinsdale house and doing some kind of public event of some sort, but that'd be like towards next summer or something. We'll get to that, and when that happens, we'll definitely give details. Jason says, "I don't get a guest reservation on what?" Boy, you guys are talking random stuff. Guest reservation? Yeah, no problem, Jen. Once you get your mic, we'll figure it out. I'll send you the link, and we could I'll show you how the StreamYard works, and then we'll set up a night for you to come live and be a guest on the show. Jay, you will always have a guest spot on the show. All you have to do is mention it, and I will find a way to get you on. And Matt says we all should do an investigation somewhere to go live again. Yeah, Matt, I agree. You're not too far away from the Hinsdale house. I think personally, you guys and Wasp, when I say you guys, Matt and your crew, we should try to do a live investigation of the one place we went to, me and Steph, Hillview. No, it wasn't Hillview, but the one abandoned poorhouse that we were at. Gettysburg would be great, Matt, but I'd have to say that I think for a more live video to kind of get one central location, the place I'm thinking of, the poorhouse, would be better. But just my opinion. Gettysburg would be cheaper. I'll give you that. That Gettysburg, a lot of people are into Gettysburg. And to plug my own stuff again, if you look on my YouTube channel, and when I say I mean Warren Area Society Paranormal, there is a couple of videos from Gettysburg. We stumbled across a random cemetery that had 24-hour visiting, and so we went in there and got some neat stuff. Lee House in Sheffield. Why are you laughing at that? That is actual supposedly haunted. Okay, I know why you're laughing. You're laughing because another local team has been there a few times. But that just, to me, and what I'm looking at is I'm opening up my soda and making sure it's not splashing all over the place. If we went to the Lee House in Sheffield, I would try to figure out if we could collaborate what they found or debunk or anything like that. For Hinsdale House, Jen is saying, for Hinsdale, are you looking for overnight or just tour? Private. Maybe that's something that we should see if we could do is during the day, because everybody goes at night. I don't think I've seen a daytime one other than a quick, this is what the grounds look like during the day. So if that's the case, I wonder if we'd get some good stuff during the day. I heard Matt says, I heard there's Leefoot sightings there too. So, Jefferson Tea House, Library, Theater. Lee says, yes, they would be great places in Warren to investigate. A lot of history there, that's for sure. Lee, how do you feel about people calling you Leefoot now? It's kind of catchy. Probably better than some of the things I've said. Yeah, there's a lot of history when it comes to the Jefferson Tea House and Library Theater. Now, the Tea House, is that the one where the Warren County Historical Society is at, or is that the one closer to the club, the Gentleman's Club? And I don't know. I thought they did the Lee House, but I might be wrong. Maybe it was the Shaw House they did. $50. Jen says $50 per person, up to 6 people. This is for a group. That's for overnight. Thank you for the information, Jen. Yeah, that's not bad at all, I don't think. I know some places charge like $100 or $2. Minimum 6 people. All right. Lee says he's still trying to figure out who Leon is. And for those that are not understanding what that means, everybody keeps saying we want Lee on our show. Leon. And so that's why he's trying to figure out who Leon is. Jay Wild thinks that Mr. Baldwin is... I prefer to think of Mr. Baldwin as Jason Voorhees. Oh boy. Are you all tired or what? Coming up with these terrible things. Okay, the one at 2nd Market Street. All right. Get a hold of Dan. He might be able to tell you when it's a good day or night for investigation. That's good advice, Jen. I agree. That's definitely good advice. A little interesting story about the library, in the public library in Warren. When WAS first started off our group, we would meet in the basement of the library because they had meeting rooms down there and such. And we caught the attention of some of the librarians that worked there, and we started noticing they were hanging around and kind of half listening to us, not to not to be nosy per se, but to kind of figure out who we were. And so they found out we were a paranormal group. And so they started telling us about an entity that they nicknamed Basement Bob, because it was a entity they found to be lurking around in the basement of the local library. So it's pretty neat to go down there when they're open, because of this whole COVID thing. They've been closed down for a little bit, and look around for evidence of Basement Bob in the Warren Public Library. But guys, I really appreciate y'all being here. It's been 2 hours and 11 minutes, which really shocks me. Matt, did we get a hold? Okay, Jason. Did we get told of an entity nicknamed the Whistler? No, Basement Bob. Oh yeah, I think there was a Whistler, wasn't there? I think somebody did mention that. Now, the only time when you mention Whistler, it makes me think of the Transit Authority building, where we got an EVP of what it sounds like somebody walking up to the group, whistling, and then fading away. When you mention Whistler, that's what it made me think of. And if you go to our Facebook page and you scroll through like the real old videos, like way back when, and you'll find the recording of that whistle. And if you do take the time to go find that, no, Lee, it was Basement Bob. Lee commented Whistling Bob. But if you do take the time to go back and find that video of the whistling, it should say EVP Sessions as a title. Click that you were sent there with today's date, or just put in today's date or something to let me know that you went there because of this live video. That'd be awesome. Our old stuff never gets any more attention because, well, it's been 8 years or so. Yeah, and at the Transit is where we got the whistle that I'm talking about, right? And on one video, you'll see Scott Kung Fu fighting. Jason said that. Was it? No. That video never seen the light of day. What you see on that made the light of day was at the garage, me doing a little dance to the laser grid and such. And the story behind me dancing to that was we were setting up equipment. We asked if they could see the laser grid. I was having a little fun and danced for those watching the DVR system. Oh, come on, Jay. I'm lucky I didn't fall on my backside. Jay says it showed the crane kick was impressive. Yeah, though it was, I got some dance moves when I want, I think. Maybe. No, not really. Sorry to lie to you guys. But I feel that I should end this stream. I'm having fun with you guys. You guys are asking and asking a lot of great questions and leaving a lot of good comments. But I notice that my answers are starting to trail off. I'm mumbling more and things like that. So I think it's time for me to wrap this up. And I really appreciate you guys help me keep this video going. I want to thank tonight's guests who unfortunately had to leave early. But she was very entertaining with what she had to say, a lot of knowledge. She was on Paranormal Witness from being out here, and when she lived out here in Tiddy Ute. Don't forget, I'm Tiddy Ute's biggest YouTuber. I haven't said that in a while. Lee says, like Scott falling down beside stairs, mysteriously disappeared. That's not my fault that video disappeared either. We were on investigation, and I fell down a flight of stairs that was caught on video, and it just went bye-bye. I didn't do it. I did not get rid of that video. You know what I mean? I did not do it. And yes, my client is reminding me, if you find any value in this video, as it says below, please take the time. Okay, I'll stop being so formal. Guys, I would really appreciate it if you could go and like this video, and if you can make your way over to the YouTube channel and subscribe to get any extra incentives for YouTube. The next goal is 500 likes, and I could add a community tab and such, and we're at 162 likes. So if you can find your way over there and just subscribe, that would be awesome. And Matt, you never give me duck lips, so you're not getting no duck lips. Now, if you know what chicken lips are, comment below, and I will tell you guys what chicken lips are on the next episode if you remind me, for those who don't know. Right, I fell downstairs at Betsy's, and yeah, and that video disappeared for some reason. Where were you, Jay, on that one? I don't know. Matt's just throwing everything out of there that's been there before. Every subscription and likes get a free cupcake FedEx to your house. You heard it here. Jay is willing to send cupcakes to everybody that subscribes. Awesome. Way to do something for the team there, my friend. Yeah, I see people leaving. Heather is saying good night, everybody. I really appreciate you guys stopping in and hanging out on the Saturday night. I'll definitely see you guys in 2 weeks. If you want to be a guest on this show, send me a message. If you have paranormal stuff, I'm not taking Matt. I'm not taking Jason. I'm not taking Lee. Heather, it's been a while since you've been trying to be on the show. Maybe it's time for you to try again. Jen, you said that you'll have a mic soon, so it'd be awesome to bring you and your group on. That would be awesome. So with that, guys, I want to wish you all a very wonderful Saturday night. And I look forward to seeing you as soon as I can. Good night and all that fun stuff. And sooner or later, that's another thing you guys could help me with is catchphrase to my shows. Matt has happy hauntings. I have good night. I don't know. Give me an ending line. With that being said, ending line. Bye.